into pick and ban.
Yep,
Make sure I got the right one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wind and Rain taking on Enclave. Wind and Rain on the blue side and Enclave on the red. What do you expect to see banned here? Probably a Warwick against Kerberos.
I mean, you say that, but I feel like Rifty, if there's anyone who's going to be able to counter whatever Kerberos brings out, I feel like Rifty is the man to do it. He has his spicy picks himself, and it'll be interesting to see. We are seeing lots of mid lane bans once again. Rise still open, so a team might want to take away that. Vlad coming out as a ban from Paris, and I think this is something we saw from Paris, is that maybe his champion pool is a bit of an issue. He's played a lot of Cassiopeia. He has played Vladimir as his sort of go-to. After that, what else does he have to offer? It might be stretched at this point. I mean, he does play Talia, but that's obviously a pick Godbro also plays, so difficult situation.
The Rise is open as well. That's going to be the Camille banned away. I expect to see Kerberos maybe go for counter pick.
Galio is still open, and that is actually going to get through.
Open,
so...
Rise is open. There's quite a few options. Victor as well. We did see it in the last game, but Xmati's going to get his hands on the Zaya this game for now.
Yeah, so Zaya Rakan, a great combo to come out. The issue is that Enclave are in a position. Do you want to take the weaker on its own Rakan, or do you want to give up Zaya Rakan? I think it's okay if you go for something like Caitlyn Morgana, but you're going to have to prioritize that either now or for your third pick, because I feel like Caitlyn Morgana just fine into Zaya Rakan. But maybe if you have a weaker support who isn't able to contest it, you might struggle. Munchkin's getting his Zac again, something he absolutely loves. He got rid of these two strong early junglers with Predator and Olaf and Skarner in the draft phase, and he's now on his strong Zac. So great pick for him. Unsurprisingly, we see the Rakan come through, and I think two questions here. Either you pick the mid lane and you force Paris to pick now, or you pick a jungler because you want something higher priority. I'm inclined to think that it'll probably be a jungle pick. And we saw Kane get played against Zac the other day. Did really well in the early game, but Scuzzy wasn't able to make it keep going when he played against Munchkin's Zac. But we saw that. He got a 2-0 lead. And Dan is one of the excellent junglers in the league and has played Kane before. And looks like he's going for the matchup again. We do see the Morgana come out from for Shogun. Really strong bot lane. Well. Yeah, it's something that Fnatic started running, and it just so devastating because you land a binding from one of them, and Caitlyn can put the trap down. As well as that, it means that Zaya Rakan, they can't engage because the Black Shield's going to be there to block it. Now you're in a position where you might ban more mid laners here. You might want to get rid of Godbro's Rise or his Talia or his Echo. Actually seeing some top lane bans, so getting rid of the Urgot here. Again, for the same side of Wind of Rain, they can either target the mid laners pool, but the problem is, Paris hasn't played that many more picks beyond the Vlad and the Cassiopeia, so you're really stretching if you ban mid laners. Might just end up taking top laners again here. Does go for the Corki. That screams to me that a Galio might come up, because Corki's a good matchup in a Galio, as is Cassiopeia. Going to be difficult to deal with him in lane if you don't end up, if one of the teams get a hold of a Galio here.
Need to see a Talia ban come through here. Godbro's been exceptionally good on the Talia. Don't want to let Godbro get his hands on that. And it's the only other champion that Paris has played, however. So they might just try and first pick it if they want to go for. But no, they're going to take away the Talia for now. And my question is, who gets counterpick? Is it going to be Kerberos or is it going to be Paris?
If I was Enclave here, I would look to secure the Galio if Paris is confident on it, and then give counterpick over to Kerberos. Kale does come out as just sort of a respect ban to Kerberos. Quite a spicy pick. And if you're not prepared for it, why play against it? And just to see what Enclave pick here.
I've never casted Kerberos' Kale. Everyone goes on and on about it. I've only actually ever seen it once as well. And that was actually in week 1, I believe. Wow. Or was it week 2 of Enclave? I think it was week 2. It was week 2 where you played it.
I've been fortunate enough to play against it and win against it last split. So, but Anivia comes out. So this is a pick that we've seen a rise up slightly, and then before the changes to AP items, and then the AP items extend it even more. Really good into these super tanks like Sion and Cho'Gath. And the issue is, now they've given counter pick to Kerberos, it's hard to pick something that's a bruiser, blind. So if Rifty does want to go for one of these super tanks, like a Cho'Gath or a Sion, it struggles to do anything against Anivia. And I think this is a really smart decision to go for the Shen instead. Shen doesn't have as many issues. If the wall's placed down, he can taunt over it, and also able to offer a lot in the early game to the team. So good pick from Rifty there to understand that these super large, not just super, but super large tanks struggle with the zone control of Anivia. Now it's down to what Godbro picks. We know he wants to impact the map. Great game to do it because he has a Kayn who's going to be aggressive, and they have the Shen top, and he's going to his pocket pick, which is the Echo, which is going to be great for a 1-3-1 later in the game. So the question is, how are you going to answer that? Do you want to have a split push and pressure pick for Kerberos so you can sort of answer that? Or do you want to pick something that means you can force team fights whenever you want and dominate them? Because I feel like already Enclave are in a really good position to team fight, but they're going to struggle in the split push.
He's sitting on a 70% win rate on the Echo, Godbro, so positive for him. And now Kerberos hovering his last pick. He will actually go in for the Cho'Gath. He had a fantastic game and was the undoing of Misfits with that pick of a flash feast for the steal.
So
I'm pretty excited to see how this works out. How does Shen versus Cho'Gath actually go? Because normally Cho'Gath likes to play into other tanks, but Shen has some really solid trading. Got such a good kit to deal with Cho'Gath. What are you expecting out of this? I
think Kerberos definitely gets the push priority because, I mean, he's a Cho'Gath. He has the AoE from not just his abilities, but his empowered autos. But the problem is, yeah, Rifty has great trades into him, but you're probably not going to look for that too much early. The issue is if you're shoving as Cho'Gath, which you want to do to have pressure in the lane, you're at risk of getting ganked. And Shen is great into Cho'Gath. I think we did see a similar combo the other day. I'm not sure if it's exactly this one, but the Cho'Gath got massively punished. And it's just so difficult when you fall behind in this matchup. And that's the thing as well. It's not just that falling behind in your lane, but once Shen gets level 6, he's going to offer to the other roles. I feel like it's a great scaling comp from the side of Enclave, and it's going to do really well in team fights. But in terms of 1v1, you're going to struggle.
Definitely going to be struggling, and man, X-Mate and Labrov haven't got the same skins on. We had this conversation last time. If Razan Rakan don't have the right skins on, it shows a massive
lack of synergy,
lack of communication.
Yeah, some
interesting. Could be the undoing of Wind and Rain.
Some interesting picks coming out with regards to keystones. We'll talk about that. We are just about to get into game any second. This is Wind and Rain against Enclave. I think it's the second last game for Enclave, but I believe this is the last game for Wind and Rain in this season of the ESL Prem. So both teams looking to secure high seeding in playoffs, and for Enclave, they need to win this if they want to have a chance at getting the second place spot. Should be loading any second.
Enclave have to go 2-0 this week if they want to tiebreak for second place. Otherwise, if they lose this, they are locked in at third in Group B. Wind and Rain will securely sit in first place. They have already locked that in, and there is no way they can lose that, even if Enclave do win both their games. So Wind and Rain, at this point, it's just, about them getting themselves ahead as much as possible, just to say, look, we are the big guys in this Group B. But we've loaded through onto the Summoner's Rift as Wind and Rain on the blue side will be taking on Enclave. Let us know in the Twitch chat how you think will win. Will it be Enclave or will it be Wind and Rain?
Yeah, and we are actually seeing two players with minion dematerializers on the side of Enclave, so clearly not wanting to deal with the banner of command at any point here. Seen a bit of cheese come out from Enclave. Might be looking for a pick early on.
Oh, got a lot of CC available to them. Shogun on the Morgana. If he can make this connection for Labrov, whoa, that could have been his undoing. They have knockups, they have stuns, they have everything in their kit to get as much damage down as possible. And Frappy hadn't skilled anything there, so he could have trapped. That could have been 5 bits of CC layered on top of Labrov. So Labrov manages to get himself out there with the grand entrance. And now Enclave heading back up as a 4-man unit, just in case they get invaded, just in case of any little cheese that could come through. They know it's now safe, and Shogun will head back down towards bot lane, although he's still hanging in that mid lane, just in case.
Yeah, just a side note thing, I did just adjust the stream volume. There is a bit of a delay, so in chat when you hear this, just let me know if this is okay. The game volume, so the in-game volume was a bit off. But yeah, sorry, back in the game. We are seeing Kane start the Raptors, which you haven't seen in a while. Obviously, he has great AoE, so this is a viable start for him. And they do see where Zac starts, which is huge when you're playing a matchup like this. You want to get the counter. Just something to talk about, though, that I was mentioning when we were loading in, is the keystone choices that are interesting. A bit of an aggressive trade top.
So fun. We
have seen Glacial Augment from Godbro. This is something he has played before. Just means when he E's onto a target, the slow means it's really easy to proc his passive. You E onto them, and then it's easy to get the Q wind up. You can see slow comes down to Paris there. Hard for him to walk away. The one that is interesting, though, is Spellbook on Morgana. And so, as Morgana's returned in sort of priority, great trade there from Godbro.
Knockoff goes a little bit wide, finding it, and Knight's thrown down to boot as Labrov forced to run away. This is a lot of help.
I think that's fine from him though. He burns the Ignite from the other side, which reduces the kill pressure, and he's able to heal up. But sorry, just saying about the spellbook thing. A lot of Morganas have been going Glacial Augment themselves, and it's not so much for the slow from the auto attacks, but when you get an item, when you get the what's that item called? The Twin Shadows. The ghosts come out, and you get the slow ray that comes down, and it's great for picks. And so that has been the sort of go-to for Morganas. We've seen a lot, but Shogun not actually going towards us and has gone the spellbook. So interesting to see how he makes use of this. Will have TP or exhaust later in the game, so maybe he values that more than the extra slows he can offer.
That's what we did see from Fnatic as well when they ran this Caitlyn Morgana. It was all about the Twin Shadows and the Glacial Augment. But Shogun looking to be able to have his summon spells up as much as possible. Can probably switch that Ignite out later for something else, but for now, looking for as much kill pressure as possible. And Labrov has got most of his health back already, although
does walk on a trap there.
Careful.
Yeah, just a tad. They do have pressure though, they're shoving in, which is good for them. That's what you do want to see. Ooh, good jump away from Munchkins there. Sorry, the director camera is jumping away very quickly, but he did just jump away. We are actually going to go back to this fight top just to see what's happened. Looks like Dan will just pull away. Nothing too much going on there.
I think this might be the most time Monkeys has ever spent in top lane around Kerberos.
Yeah, could well be.
And this is actually... This is when Shogun spoke about this earlier on in the Prem about halfway through. There was an interview and they're talking about how Kerberos plays, and it's not actually the team ignoring Kerberos. This is just how Kerberos says. He says, "Don't worry, guys. I will handle it on my own. You make sure you get the other lanes rolling." So it's not Monkeys deliberately ignoring Kerberos. It's how Kerberos is saying to play. He wants Frankie to get all the attention. Kerberos is very confident in his ability to deal with his 1v1 lane. We are seeing him take a little bit of a trade versus Rift, but Rift can just Spirit's Refuge and then taunt his way out.
Yeah, Kerberos obviously has great sustain on this Cho'Gath, but we are seeing some pressure, maybe a gank. Munchkins is trying to recall, and that's one of the things is, yes, they don't like to play around Kerberos, but you're playing against a Shen, and if you don't pressure the Shen, he's going to be able to ult other lanes, and that's the difficulty when playing into this matchup. So, wouldn't be surprised to see some plays there, but this is great. This is what we said from Godbro and Dan. Playing aggressively, shoving in, and they're getting vision control into Enclave's blue side of the jungle. So when that next blue buff spawns, I have no doubt they're going to look to contest it.
I wonder if this means that Enclave will put a bit of pressure on Rift Herald. They have one of the lowest amounts of Rift Heralds taken in the Premiership. One of the highest amount of Drakes taken, so that does show you exactly how Monkeys likes to play on the jungle routes. As Dan and Dobra have found him out. Remember, he does have Cell Division available to him now as he elastic slingshots his way out. Binding
Great
will connect,
binding.
but Battle Dance from Labrov will make sure he's nice and shielded up. There's
Yeah.
lots of extra health bars for Enclave. You've got the Cell Division on Monkeys. You've got the Anivia passive as well.
And then you just have Cho'Gath who's going to have like a million health. So, but yeah, the respawn and passives makes it very difficult to make plays here. And this is a problem, is that Godbro and Dan, great aggression there, stole away a camp, but not able to do much beyond that to Munchkins. Good move from Frappy and Shogun just to cover their jungler there.
Well, Rift is now hit level 6, means he does have his ultimate available to him as Godbro. Looking for a bit of a trade versus Paris. Needs to be very careful as the ulti will start to wear and tear him down. Binding connects as well. Labrov loses a little bit of health.
Yeah, but he does have those biscuits he's gone for in his keystones, his runes. So won't struggle too much. Still actually on 3 health pots, even though he got chunked so heavily early on. And this is a problem, if you can't poke them out, Xayah and Rakan are happy just to wait for level 6 where they're going to have a lot of pressure with their ultimates.
Well, Labrov also does have a bit of sustain with his Q, able to clear that out nice and simple.
Absolutely. Something else to note we haven't talked about this game yet is the importance of going for early trades for Dan on this Kayn. And so you saw he went aggressive on Munchkins twice, didn't get kills, didn't even get the Cell Division, but every time he's trading with Munchkins, he's getting more stacks towards his Dark Inform. And the sooner he gets that, the more impact he's going to be able to have in the game.
And Monkeys is a player who typically likes to have a lot of pressure onto lanes, goes around the map and plays as much into mid and bot as he can, but he's actually had a relatively quiet game on the Zac. He is now level 6, so has that Let's Bounce available to him if he wants to throw it out. But I need to see a play come from him soon. For 7 minutes, and there hasn't really been any major action yet, as Kerberos actually is taking a bit of a trade versus Rift, gets taunted up, looks for the Rupture, but doesn't actually quite connect it. And Dan looking in for Monkeys. Remember, there is still Cell Division available, so he's just going to walk away.
Huge actually for Enclave, despite that early vision coming out from Wind and Rain. They're able to secure the blue for Paris, and this is going to buy them a fair amount more time just to stall the game out. The issue is, though, Wind and Rain don't massively have an issue with this. They are looking to get to a point in the game where they can split push, and so they're fine with scaling up as well. And the problem is for Munchkins is Jesse wants to make these plays, but Shen now has his ultimate, and it's going to be extremely difficult to make plays anywhere on the map.
Now, as we move later, who gets the advantage? Enclave obviously do have a lot of scaling, but Wind and Rain have a lot of globals and ways to get around the map. Kerberos taking a bit of a fight with Rift, but does have to worry about Godbro, who's making his way up. Hasn't been spotted because there's no vision around the top side of the map. Only one ward placed aggressively into blue side of Wind and Rain.
I think both compositions scale in different ways. I think Wind and Rain scale well into a split push comp, but they're never going to be able to team fight as well as Enclave late in the game. Whereas Enclave, obviously, great team fight. These two hyper carries in terms of Anivia and Caitlyn will do monstrous work, and they have a great front line. But that doesn't matter if you're never going to be as a 5-man and you're stuck into 3 lanes.
Paris stacking up that tier, currently on 148 stacks. Looking towards his next items. Kerberos hasn't really got too much in the kit at the moment. Feast is on cooldown, so he can't really commit for a kill, and he's only running around with 2 stacks at the moment on his Feast anyway.
Yeah, I've actually seen fairly passive lanes so far, not too much going down. And I think that's the thing, is both teams know what their win condition is, and they want to get towards that, so they don't necessarily want to force things and have a mistake here.
Wonder if we see a Triforce come through on checkout. Kerberos really loves Triforce. When I asked him about it, he said it's really good at just killing tanks when you're playing on checkout. If you're in a tank v tank matchup, the Triforce is enough just to give you a monstrous edge.
Yeah,
so it is a potential for it to pick up if you want split push all game.
Yeah, if he does, but I mean that's the thing. He might pick it out in order to sort of deal with Rifty better, but I don't think he's the one who's going to necessarily be split pushing, because Godbro will have the advantage in the other lane, and as a result, it means that he might be pressured in just because Dan. I mean that's the aim for Wind and Rain, is they want to have both their side lanes pressured by these solo laners. Dan can move freely between them, and Matty and Labrov can just chill out mid, put the feet up, and shove waves in.
Catalyst has been picked up by Paris, so he's now starting to get these mana items through. He wants a little bit more time before he really starts to come online on this Anivia.
That's the issue now, is that Paris has used all of his minion dematerializers, which give increased damage to minions, and on top of that, he does a hell of a lot of damage to the waves. So we said, Echo likes to roam, but it's hard when he's constantly shoved in here.
That's going to be the ulti forced out by Godbro, but Monkeys is coming through with the elastic slingshot, charges it up and instantly cancels it. Look at Paris' Hellfire though, super low stun. Frostbite comes down, but Paris does not do a lot of damage quite yet to champions for the moment. Ace in the hole onto Matty.
Good pressure coming out from the bot lane of Enclave, and also from the mid lane of Wind and Rain. But that's why Munchkins had to be careful and back off. He was like, oh, I can go here. Issue is, there's a Shen on Wind and Rain, and you don't want to invest into an engage when you know that Shen ult's going to come down.
Dan's coming through. He's actually managed to get himself in. Looks to try and throw the ulti out. Forces the flash away from Paris.
TP gets channeled and cancelled from Kerberos, and this is devastating for the side of Enclave, because not only can they not match the Shen ult, but they don't have a TP to even come in a bit later. And as a result, Wind and Rain are going to start up this dragon. Only a cloud, but this is good for later in the game, because the more Drakes you stack up, the more impactful that Elder Dragon buff will be.
And while, yeah, on paper it looks like the Cloud's probably the worst Drake that Wind and Rain can get their hands on, this means Dan can roam around the map a lot quicker. He's already exceptionally mobile on that Kayn, being able to walk through walls, and like you said, the Elder Drake stacked is also a wind condition potentially for Wind and Rain. The longer the game goes on, the harder I think it gets for Wind and Rain, with Cho'Gath constantly stacking up more and more health, with Paris just being a late game beast on that Anivia, and with Caitlyn just vastly outscales Xayah.
I feel like there is still an element. I mean, Xayah, although she does get outscaled in terms of range, the amount of damage she puts out late game is still huge, especially with the Rakan giving extra power to a W. And the thing is, I feel like late game team fights, there's no doubt Enclave is going to be stronger. But I don't think if Wind and Rain play this correctly, they're ever going to let it get to that point where they need to team fight. We are seeing an aggressive play come bot though.
Ooh, that's going to be the ulti thrown down. Frappy has got the Black Shield on as the Featherstorm comes out. Blade Caller will be flashed away. It's going to come down though, and Matty finds first blood.
Yeah, huge play from Wind and Rain. They know they have the TP advantage. They don't even use it from Rifty.
Oh, Godbro's been forced to use the ultimate to peel himself out as Kerberos under tower versus Rifty needs to be super careful. The Vorpal Spikes are not going to give him enough damage as the Rupture comes down. Paris now looking to get knocked up. Black Shield is just not enough as he's diving and ducking away. Tara will go down, and the Uncle Trespass has been thrown down onto Shogun, but now they're standing on top of an Anivia ultimate, but starting to shred them through. They lose 2 members total in the fight and a turret. This is massive.
And the
for Wind and
solo
Rain.
kill top lane. Kerberos stepped too close to the turret, and in this tank matchup ends up getting solo killed this early on. Is not what you want to see. Huge plays from Wind and Rain though. They use the TP from Godbro, don't even need Rifty at any point there, and they go for the aggressive play. Matty played it beautifully, put the feathers down. Frappy tried to get away from them, and then he uses the flash after he calls the feathers, so they end up killing him. Great play to then reassess, get the tower. Missed engage from Munchkins, but great plays. They get the first blood tower, and they're now in a big lead, and this is exactly what you want from a split push comp. And just to talk about what led to that play, you can see now, looking at the bot side of the map, excellent vision control from the side of Wind and Rain. Just absolute control over that side of the map, and that's why they didn't see this play coming, and Frappy and Shogun were just completely caught off guard there.
Wind and Rain really showing off why they are one of the top place teams in the ESL Premiership. Top of Group B as well. As Enclave may be looking for a little bit of shenanigans as they hide out in the tri-bush here. Waiting for Matty to maybe overextend as he hasn't got the Featherstorm. Labrov has to be careful. That's going to be the binding going a little bit wide, and Labrov for the Battle Dance is able to dash away to exit.
Yeah, good move from Labrov just to get away there. Thing is, though, he's switched out to cleanse already, so even if they'd landed a binding, not sure he would have been that bothered about it. Can just cleanse. Yes, it's a cooldown burn, but hard to threaten here, this bot lane, especially the huge range on Labrov's E when combined with the Xayah. Very safe pick right now, this Rakan.
Kerberos sitting on the Glacial Shroud and the Crystalline Bracer for now. Means he's not inherently tanky for the moment. He has got his teleport, so if the play does break out, he'll at least be able to match Rift on the global pressure, but then Stand United and a teleport to Rift means if Rift stays alive and the fight goes in favor of Wind and Rain, he can just teleport back to whatever lane he wants to.
Yeah, that's him. Munchkin's sitting here just to cover his bot lane, aware of the pressure that Dan might have, but looks like Dan's trying to get control of the river and start up the Rift Herald already.
Once again, we're seeing that pressure come through from Wind and Rain as Enclave, remember, have the lowest amount of Rift Heralds taken in Group B. And that will not be changing anytime soon as Kerberos and Rift have a little bit of a trade out here.
Yeah, I feel like
able to get too much.
You can see Shen's going towards the Titanic Hydra. Once he secures that, it'll give him a lot more trading power. But I don't think there's that much kill potential. We did see a kill before, but that was mostly because Rifty taunted Kerberos underneath the tower. And a couple of tower hits really helped him out.
Now Kerberos does land a lot of damage. Those Vorpal Spikes giving him health percent. Seeing Godbro actually go in, does manage to stun Monkeys. Monkeys maybe didn't think about that. Binding comes out, trap goes down, and now Labrov ignited up. Loses a lot of health.
Yeah, cleanse does come through great there though. He cleanses away the last trap and the ignite damage as well, so just get away safely. Has to burn that summoner cooldown, but not a huge issue.
Not the biggest is Kerberos looking to pressure at this bot lane. Wants to try and get as much turret damage done as possible, but he's not able to do so, and it's only one turret taken. But the gold lead is pretty big at this point for Wind and Rain, and they're looking pretty confident here. Remember, while they have nothing to gain off this win, it does play upset against Enclave, and Enclave really need to take this. This is their hardest matchup of the week, and if they can win this, there is a chance for them to tiebreak for second place in Group B. Monkeys looking to get spotted out. He's going to get caught out by the parallel convergence, and Godbro loses a lot of health to Paris, who puts down the wall. Will actually separate him away from any kill potential though.
It's so hard though. I mean, they still haven't been Cell Division here. They still haven't been the Nibby Egg. They're trying to be aggressive, and they should be with this gold lead, but they're just getting small trades and not yet getting the kills onto this mid and jungle, who not only do you have to kill once, but you have to kill twice. I am liking the aggression from Wind and Rain though. They are getting a lot of control here, and you can see they're planning to get towards top side turret.
Looking just to try and pressure out this top side turret that is currently sitting on about 4/5 HP, so it's going to be okay for the moment. Doesn't feel like it will be dropping anytime soon without a big play coming through, as Paris actually gets the Umbral Trespass thrown onto him. Looks to find the stun, but doesn't quite connect it. Monkeys is also hanging about just 4 health bars they effectively have to cut through there.
Yeah, absolutely. So much work you have to do, and that's why Dan doesn't want to overcommit. He knows that although he can get the pressure, he doesn't have a ton of kill pressure before the rest of the Enclave can move there. But you can see he's just forcing Monkeys out of his jungle.
Stretching strikes do come down. Now we're going to see the ulti come down onto the back as Paris is forced to flash over the wall, but 4 members on top of him will force him into egg. Now they have to try and get as much as possible. Knock-up lands onto 2. Feral Scream only lands onto 1, and Kerberos beasts for the kill. It's a 1-for-1 trade though, as now a knock-up landed onto him. They're looking to land a little bit more damage as the stretching strikes have connected. Featherstorm's there. It's going to force the Cell Division out. This is their 4th health bar, and Frappy cannot get in the right position to free fire away. It's a 2-for-1. in favor of Wind and Rain.
And there were 4 health bars there, as you said, and they burn all the way through both of them. And that's the thing, Wind and Rain played that team fight so well, they were all come together as a team, and they focused down one target at a time. Good play from Kerberos to get a trade kill with his ultimate. Obviously Dan got silenced and didn't even have his ult on that trade he had earlier, so wasn't able to buy any more time with that. But they take 2 kills, and after taking down this Anivia, they're able to get the mid turret, exactly what they need with this split push composition. And with next Dragon being a mountain, I can see them wanting to prioritize that.
All of the attention from Wind and Rain was put onto Paris and onto Kerberos, but for whatever reason, Frappy was just a little bit too scared to enter into that fight. Only has that Phantom Dance on a BF sword, so his damage isn't massive. He only got about 3 or 4 shots off in that team fight total.
This is a very, very weird build coming out from Frappy, the Phantom Dancer Rush. Really odd. It's not something we normally see at all. Most Caitlyn's go for the double.
Gobro comes in, Gobro comes in. Oh no, Kerberos is able to get it. The Dark Binding comes out, and everything is thrown onto him. He does use the Chrono Break, but Frappy able to pick up the kill, and next Drake will be the Infernal.
Yeah, huge fire the team. Good. It's good from Wind and Rain to go top in return for that Drake. They do get a tower. Might even get a second with that Rift Herald. But Godbro overstepping a bit too much. You saw the power of all the CC on the side of Enclave, and that's why it's so difficult for Wind and Rain to team fight. But just as I was saying is, normally a Caitlyn will go the double energized build with the static shiv rapid fire cannon. Frappy instead investing for a Phantom Dancer.
Oh, Dan's getting engaged on Let's Bounce comes through, followed up by the stun. That's going to be the ultimate thrown onto Paris, though, as the Umbral Trespass out of Dan, but it's not enough as Monkeys is able to get the kill. Now he's going to be able to run away as the chase is on. Paris looking for the stun. Blade
Shen on the flank, though.
Wide. There's going to be the stun connecting through, but Rift is entered in. Labrov looking for Shogun, but the binding is connected down, and Frappy still free-firing away. Flash is used by Shogun. Enclave managed to find 1 kill, but Paris is isolated at the moment, and Kerberos has no teleport. Looking for a Frostbite for Labrov will run him down to about 50% HP, but Gobro comes through, looking for the damage as Labrov is able to answer back, and it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, I mean, started off really well for Enclave. This is how strong they are in the team fights. They got the CC down on the Dan and were able to kill him. But Paris just ended up out of position after Rifty came up. So great roam from him just to turn that round into a 1-for-1. But they take the top in a turret, and now they are at a 4 turret and 5k gold lead. So honestly, exactly what Wind and Rain want.
Kerberos has got that banner of command finished up now at 21 minutes, which means Rift will have a slightly harder time starting to get any kind of shove pressure against Kerberos. Both of them are making their way down towards that bot lane.
I think one unique thing is though is that Shen doesn't do magic damage as a tank. A lot of tanks like Cho'Gath and Sion have a lot of magic damage. Shen does a lot of physical. He gets that. He uses a lot of auto attack damage, and especially with the Titanic Hydra, can actually just kill out these bannered up minions. So not going to be a huge issue until a Baron's picked up, I think. Just at least in his lane.
For the time being, we do have a little talk about Baron Nashor. big advantage to Wind and Rain as far as vision is concerned for the moment. Got himself 2 control wards down there, Rift Scuttlers in their favor as well, and a couple of other wards spread around. And this has been the story of the game, Wind and Rain with just dominance as far as vision's concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen this all game. Wind and Rain just knowing exactly how to play the game out. And testament to not just Dan, but also Labrov working together as a team. No tracker's knife, obviously, so need Labrov to move about with your jungler so he can provide the normal wards. And this control is insane.
Oh, don't get engaged on, but Kerberos is there. Featherstorm comes through. Blade Cooler to follow as Paris is forced to use the shield. He's delivered in and forced into egg form as now Kerberos is trying to find an opening, but the Blade Cooler will stun him out. Egg's gonna get popped as Dan cracks him open for scrambled egg. It's a double kill onto the Kayn, and with no feast available, they can turn towards Baron Nashor.
Yeah, great pick there from Wind and Rain, just playing aggressive. And now Rifty and Godbro are gonna look to zone out this Zac so they can easily pick up this Baron.
It was a good call from Kerberos to walk up, acknowledging that he didn't have teleport, but Stan United is just bigger for Rift. Monkiz is looking for the stretching strikes. It's 3,000 health currently on to Baron Nashor. Monkiz stretching up the stretching strikes, maybe looking to go in. The stun's not going to come through. He's into the fray. The turret is going to go down. It's not enough as Kayn manages to secure it. Dan secures Baron Nashor and a kill onto Monkiz. And this game is looking dire for Enclave.
Great play from this side of Wind and Rain. It was a good attempt from Munchkins, but the Baron ended up going to 70 HP from his fight. Dan picks it up afterwards, so great play coming out from Wind and Rain to secure the Baron. And now this is where it gets extremely difficult. The split push was already good. The split push was great already, but now it is going to be even more difficult with Baron on the opposing side.
And with the fact that Caitlyn's actually gone into this Phantom Dancer Infinity Edge build, the wave clear on her isn't actually quite as strong, so Frappy might struggle a little bit. And Paris being the primary wave clear for Enclave against these Baroned up minions is going to struggle really, really hard. Kerberos actually trying to hold out against 4 members, has got the backup of Shogun. This turret is just liquefying to Wind and Rain, and they're just showing a masterclass in macro at the moment versus Enclave, and Enclave scratching their heads to figure out exactly what they can do to pull this game back. The question is, what can they do in this particular scenario? See the ulti come through, Blade Cooler comes out to double kill, make that a triple kill onto Xmati as Kerberos has come through with the silence. Humble Trespass comes down, and that's going to be the Cell Division forced out. Looking for Kerberos as Godbro is able to get it. Cell Division's forced out, and it's the Quadra picked up by Xmati. All the members of Enclave fall as they've still got Baron buff, and they're looking to take down these turrets nice and simple. Looks like this is going to be any hopes of a tiebreaker for Enclave thwarted by Wind and Rain. They are showing up absolutely massive in this game.
Yeah, huge ult for Xmati there. Just absolutely dominated. So much AoE damage, and we said about how good the split push was. They don't even need it.
Don't even need it at all as the Nexus is going to fall under fire. 25 minutes on the clock. Wind and Rain just demolish Enclave. Nice and easy, and there is no tiebreaker happening with Enclave and Diabolus this week.